There's 5 stress responses that we as human beings have. And when we are stressed, when our nervous system is hijacked, we go into one of these 5 responses. Those are things like trying to control the situation. We try to entrain others to our way of doing things. How many times do you hear men say that about women? Like, she's so controlling. She's just bitching at me about this and that. And that. We hear it all the time. Or you are a people pleaser. You try to fix it for other people, or you disassociate, like you just completely check out. This is how human beings, when we are in our reactive state, this is how we naturally react. Hey everybody, Julie Murphy here, and I am going to help you start to recognize where you are financially reacting versus financially responding. Does that make sense? Don't forget, hit that subscribe, like, and notification bell because I'm going to help you get to a life that you love. And we either work things out or we act it out, and we do it through our money, through our health, with our relationships. Why? Because we're human and we have to love the fact that we're human, and we need to just allow ourselves to be where it is that we actually are and forgive ourselves for all those mistakes that we've made and start to just increase your awareness around whether you are financially reacting or if you are financially responding. So let me kind of put in context what that means. So many times you'll hear me talk about the research from Dr. Bruce Lipton, meaning that we as human beings have 2 operating systems. One is the conscious mind, one is the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind is the one that runs the engine 95% of the time. And this is the side that actually does your financial reactions. So how do these financial reactions show up? Those financial reactions can show up, let's say, with your kids, or siblings or parents, where because of your experience in your life, you then get, I'll call, tested with opportunities to actually shift from a financial reaction to a financial response. But many times we cannot do that until we start to increase the awareness between, are we reacting or are we responding? Which can almost feel like the exact same thing, but it's actually not the same thing. And it all has to do with our nervous system and how much space that we have created in our nervous system. There are all kinds of tips and tools out there. I love Kelly Howell is a great, her website is brainsync.com. You can listen to these, $9 MP3s while you're sleeping. That can help create some space inside your nervous system. I love the 1 hour activations. If you go to Panache Desai, .com. He has right on his website. It's like $33 Monday through Friday. Join that at 10 a.m. Central. I don't get paid from any of these people, but these are great resources, what I like to call my esoteric strategic alliances that I send clients to, because I've realized to get you out of your financial patterns, I need you to go calm your nervous system. I need you to go get more grounded. It could also be as easy as taking a walk out in nature, or unplugging from your electronics or your phone for 24 hours and just don't let anyone have access to you. It's whatever you need to do to get back into a place of calmness so that you can start to recognize the difference between, are you in your reactivity or are you in your response? If we can start to realize, like, oh, I don't have enough space within myself, this is why it's showing up as a reaction. So start to use some of those tools to calm your own nervous system, and then decide, oh, what do I want to create instead of how I keep plugging in and saving people or people pleasing people? Because remember, there's 5 stress responses that we as human beings have. And when we are stressed, when our nervous system is hijacked, we go into one of these 5 responses. Those are things like trying to control the situation. We try to entrain others to our way of doing things. How many times do you hear men say that about women? Like, she's so controlling. She's just bitching at me about this and that and that. We hear it all the time. Or you are a people pleaser. you try to fix it for other people, or you disassociate, like you just completely check out. This is how human beings, when we are in our reactive state, this is how we naturally react. I need to take a pause. So if you have a financial thing that comes up, whether it's helping somebody else, your kids, your parents, or even things at your employer, the first thing that I always want people to do is don't make a decision right away. Don't buy that thing right away. Take a pause, take a day or two, take a week. Because if you inject time in there and you just take a step back, that gives you the space to actually then choose a response. Now, let's just say the answer doesn't come to you from a financial standpoint. Do you know that that is an answer? It's not clear to do that particular thing, so you don't. This is where the magic is. This is where the quantum leap is from a financial standpoint. Because we don't realize how much that financial reactivity is jamming you into a life that you don't want to have. So it's about taking that step back and taking that pause, recognizing that, oh, I need to continue to create space and do things like listening to meditations or going for walks in nature, getting your exercise, eating alkaline foods. All of that is related to your financial situation because it creates space in your nervous system. And I always talk about there's 4 parts to your being as a human being. There's the mental, there's the emotional, there's the physical, and there's the spiritual. We have to take all of those into account because that's what creates a lack of reactivity. We need to start to surrender into and just allow the space. And we need to accept the reality that we've created thus far on all of that reactivity that we've done from a financial standpoint. You see this all the time, like, oh, I got to buy this stock. And whenever anyone comes to me and they talk about, well, I got to buy this stock and I got to make this money, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like sitting there going, ooh, someone's trying to hit the lottery. It's like legalized gambling is what stock picking can turn into for people. And it's just, you're trying to get that juice. You're trying to get that satisfaction. You're trying to get that happiness from like that cortisol and adrenaline running through your system. Well, that's just another form of addiction, whether it's stocks or Vegas or whatever. And the question is why are we not seeing that being a reaction? Let's actually take the pause, really look at what do you want to create in your life? And say, okay, this is a choice for me to actually respond to, but I need to see how that actually aligns with what I want to create in my life. Just because it's an opportunity, just because it's something that is true for you, doesn't necessarily mean that the timing's right for you. But if you don't have enough space to allow yourself the grace to decide whether or not, do I want this job or not want this job? That's how it shows up in our emergency reserves bucket. I call it people's, I lost my job fund. Like, I love these savings accounts that you can actually name your financial intention, because a lot of times today, people don't have enough money in reserve accounts, which is why we don't have enough financial space to move through all these economic changes that are happening. Because we've not been paid hardly any interest in savings accounts over the last 20 years compared to like the 80s. So we haven't built a whole lot there, on top of the fact that we've built just a whole lot of credit card debt as a culture as a whole around the world. So if we don't create some of this space for ourselves in our nervous systems, in our bank accounts, in our credit line accounts, like we don't create space, you're always going to keep reacting. So I'm going to give you the assignment. Go take a look at your financial world and see where you can create more financial space for yourself so that you can finally have a financial response that then actually matches what you're trying to create in the world, as opposed to, or fund what you want to create in the world, as opposed to financially reacting over and over and over again and creating all those suffering patterns. Don't forget, hit that subscribe, like, and notification bell. Why? Because I'm going to help you get to a life that you love. Talk to you guys soon. Take care.